involved in. As I said to people before, like I'd actually bought my first coin in 2018. It was Ripple, but I wasn't focused on it. Like I got locked out of my Coinbase, all that kind of stuff. And you kind of gave me a kick up the arse. Like you was just on me consistently, like just all the time, like just saying all these words I didn't understand, like blockchain this and that, and the world's changing. And a lot of the time when you was first talking, I was kind of just like, yeah, nah, I hear you, my bro. Like the world is changing. Until it come to a point of realizing like how much the world's changing. So what's that journey been like for yourself, especially for anyone in there who's just like a fan of your music, like I want to know a bit more about it.
So when I first, I've heard about crypto. I've been hearing about crypto obviously for years and years. But when I first started getting involved in crypto, I'd say it was early last year, just after COVID and everything went kind of kicked in and everything. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you, bro.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. So just last year when COVID kicked in and everything like that, so I just started learning about blockchain technology in general and what blockchain actually is and how blockchain is going to help things like autonomous driving, electric vehicles, 5G and all of these things, for example, and then things like insurance, AI and things like that. And then where crypto came into it is me trying to understand if crypto would be like essentially digital finance.
Yeah.
Because obviously it's not things like BTC and stuff. It's not efficient enough to actually replace money. But I try to understand where everything was going with obviously the digital finance side of things. So where I've obviously come to now is understanding blockchain a little bit more, and obviously I've got my cryptocurrencies that I invest in myself. But now with NFTs, it's trying to understand how that's going to help the music industry. So for example, NFTs, a lot of people like obviously on the surface think it's just images that people could just screenshot, and they don't really understand tokenization of an asset. So
yeah,
I'm just trying to understand all of that. So that's where I am with crypto at the moment. If you,
go on.
No, go on.
So when you first, like for someone, because one thing I find out within the community, especially within my following, you've got some that are all in part of my trading network, so they're a lot more advanced, but then you've got some, especially your followers too as well, like your audience who listen to your music that might be brand new, like they're fresh, like just how, like, let's be honest, like I've been bargaining you since I've been on it, like just with the most basic things, but the most basic things can often help change someone's whole life, like not even to dramatize it, it really can. So what's been your process in like learning that? What's been your go-tos? How have you actually got your head around
it? So a lot of YouTube. I use a lot of YouTube, and I just speak to a lot of professionals and stuff.
And have you found that it's been more the basics, so your Bitcoins and Ethereum?
Nah. So what I do? Sorry, let me give a better explanation. So I do a lot of research on YouTube, but I go more into DeFi. So obviously with cryptocurrency, there's centralized finance and then there's decentralized finance. And obviously going into DeFi, you have to kind of go in search of that information. So when I say YouTube, I don't just what is crypto, what is BTC? It's like a community, and as you go along and you find out more, you kind of dive deeper into it. So my whole thing is always being able to go in search of the knowledge. So that helps me learn. Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%. So, because one thing I noticed about you, like when you started talking about blockchain, you kind of went the other way around. So you didn't really go the route of like money, percentages. Yo, you can hit a lick. That was never really your angle at all.
Yeah, nah.
Before was like, and that's why it was all kind of a bit daunting for me, because a lot of your main thing was just like the world changing, and like you was like before you kind of even got into like crypto when you first started.
So my first thing wasn't, sorry to cut you, but my first thing wasn't obviously trading cryptocurrency. It was more investing in the space.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? Trying to invest in the ecosystems.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah, even before you started talking about coins and stuff, you was more talking about like, bro, I'm deep in it as I'm even speaking, bro. Beginning of lockdown, dude, you was telling me some stuff, bro. Like just like not even crypto, like to go away from crypto, like you was telling me that. Like, guys, I swear to you, this guy would hit me every other night, like late night, like inhaling, exhaling, just like, yo, bro, like my brother, like this is mad and that's mad and this law and that law, and the way that, because it kind of started for you, I feel like, based on what we really was COVID and what really was lockdown and what really was Corona. I feel
which I perceive as a financial crisis more than a health crisis. I don't want to sound insensitive when I say that, but the impact of COVID on world finances and the way that things are, it's I think it's kind of fair for me to say that. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But and then obviously how the world's financial system is going to change and move digital. For example, these NFTs and stuff, and everybody moving into digital investments, digital art. This is the future. Like this is like everything that's happening now is not for us, innit? It's for our future. It's for the future generations to just wake up one day, and this is just going to be normal for them. Like art will be like, for example, NFTs. You can get an NFT. So I do this. I invest in NFTs on a VV app. I've told you about this, Trist, where it's like collectible NFTs. They're licensed, and you get like Batman, Harley Quinn, and all of these type of different things. But you can have those as augmented reality. You can have them in your room, have them in your. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
So there's NFTs. You go on.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say. So let's touch on NFTs, because that's something that, for me, I know obviously again you're not an expert either, but you are more in the know than myself. Like NFTs is definitely something that I'm even more interested in than coins. Why? Because I think the idea of collecting, first and foremost, is just something that's sentimental to me. I love the idea of that. Obviously, my guy Gary Vee's been talking about it, so I've definitely taken more of an interest as well. And I also feel like we're very, very early on it. Like I still think we're early on it now, and I definitely think it's going to be something that's going to go crazy within the next 6 to 18 months. So what is an NFT for those who don't understand from your idea? Yo, bro.
So it's a non-fungible token. So an NFT is a non-fungible token, which basically just means it's one of one and it can't be replicated. It can be traded, but it can't be traded for anything of the exact same like. It's like BTC, for example, are fungible tokens, which means you have a BTC, I got a BTC, they're worth the same thing. Do you know what I'm saying? So non-fungible tokens are just they're one of a kind, but you can basically attach characteristics to the tokens, right? You can attach characteristics to the tokens that obviously represent something. So for example, what I was just talking about with the collectible items is you can have augmented reality with your tokens and stuff, and obviously that will be represented on the blockchain as a one of one token. You could also have media clips, MP4 clips, MP3 clips, video clips. Like NFTs can be a lot of various things. You know what I'm saying?
So just for, and even though just for people, even for me, so I buy an NFT and it can represent these things, or it is these things. Represent, right?
It is those things. So an NFT is those things. So you could so an NFT is the token is just the tokenization of what that thing is. I don't know.
Got you.
It's mad. So for example, if you can turn a picture into an NFT, which just means you're tokenizing that picture. Which essentially is placing it on the blockchain.
All right, cool. So, guys, anyone who's just joining the room now, to reset the room, I'm currently speaking to my guy.
And please, anybody who's obviously listening as well. I don't know how this thing works with obviously putting your hands up or make it speaking. Like anybody who can explain, anybody who has a better explanation of it, because obviously, like I know my explanations might not be the best, but I hope you lot understand what I'm trying to say. But also, I just urge you to go in search of knowledge, and maybe there's someone else out there who can tell it clearer than I do. But I hope there's like a base of understanding. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. So I would hope there's definitely within the audience, like I've got some experienced traders here as well. If there's anyone within the trading network, I'm going to have Gabriel and Rids up in a bit as well, just to kind of discuss the same thing and kind of give different explanations. But I know it's there or there about the same thing. Like today's main aim is just to discuss what NFTs are, introduce them to people, hopefully, because we are effectively putting some people onto a bag quite early, and then working out how we can attack it in the best way. Rids, come in, my brother. Rids, let me know if you're there.
Yeah, I'm there, bro.
Yes, my bro. So from your point of view, what is an NFT, bro, and what's going on right now in this world of NFTs?
Well, it's actually exploding at the moment. It
Mhm.
and DeFi in itself it's the current craze in crypto. So in 2017, you had like the ICO craze, which was companies like thinking of products and thinking of things that they could design and put on the blockchain. A lot of them flopped, but then you've got the ones that sort of survived have designed this sort of infrastructure where you can grow any type of business that has collectibles, has anything that you can store as like an item, a one of one, and put it on the blockchain for that particular business or brand. So you're going to have like the NBA NFTs, you're going to have UFC NFTs, you're going to have football NFTs, you're going to have every type of sporting or entertainment industry is going to be tokenized and put as collectibles. Which is, again, how much money is all of those industries generating?
So how, firstly, are you in NFTs at the moment?
I'm currently investing in the platforms that are developing. And
so the platforms are just sort of for everything I'm saying isn't even for those that don't know. This is for me, to be honest. I hosted this room today so I can get games. So when you say the platforms, what do you mean?
So there's obviously a lot of Ethereum-based platforms are the ones that are focusing on NFTs, majority DeFi, and
NFTX is a good one.
Definitely.
Good token
to another good one.
So guys, how do we work out the value of these things, and how do we know? So for example, with a coin, we know if we're looking at BTC, we can look at certain news, we're looking at where the world's going, we know the demand's going up. How are you picking these things? How are you picking the NFT and picking the right ones?
So you're looking at the brand partnerships, you're looking at the reputability of the developers. So how reputable are they in developing code? You have to do the research on that. Who is their business relationships? Who have they worked for previously?
Licensing deals that they've got, things like that.
Literally. So there's people who hold specific patents in areas, so only they can develop certain products. Again, that's a niche. So
for example, Ecomi just signed General Motors. Sorry to cut you. I just wanted to give an example of Ecomi / the VV app doing a licensing deal with General Motors, and now they're going to develop their NFTs as cars, their classic cars and concept cars and stuff. That's a good example.
Yeah, spot on, literally. And there's many more.
Many more, of course.
It's just about the development and creating that industry in itself. Because again, you've got a collector's industry, but it's not been put on the blockchain before. So it's a race for who's going to dominate the space with those tokens. And if you're hedging your bets and diversifying, if there's only 5 really big people in the space that's doing that, and you invest in all 5, then you can't really lose, can you?
So you see what happened with Logan Paul, because this has been something that's on my mind as well. So obviously, for those who aren't aware, he had basically made a lot of money off of the back of Pokemon NFTs. Where I'm thinking, is there not going to be an issue of some kind of legal issue coming up? Where's Pokemon involved in that?
The money, the deal, they allow the platforms to license the IP.
Okay, so they have given that IP. So
they give the go ahead.
Okay. Got you. So right now, if I'm going onto these platforms and I'm looking for, say for example, I find the Batman thing, for example, which is a picture, right? Yeah, just a picture. So
no. So no, the Batman thing is not it's not a picture. It's an augmented reality. So it's a 4D model basically.
Got you. So it's this is why it's bad to me. This is why it's like.
And the joke is, it could be many different things. It could be a hologram. Right. It could be flipping a MP3.
It could be a sound clip.
Literally, it could
everything.
Be like literally pictures.
For example, we can create an NFT of this conversation. It's mad, but it's like, from if you wanted to say like your episode blah 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 of crypto talks on thing, you could
Literally.
create an NFT for this moment.
Yeah,
And make various versions, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and put them all on the blockchain, and they all have their individual version. This is version 1, that's version 2, that's version 3. You could sell the different versions for different prices, but each would be their own individual NFT, if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, it's mental, but I think it's important that we discuss it. And as I said, anyone who's just joined, and if you want to raise your hand, or you want to input, or even if you want to ask questions, this isn't about anyone being the expert. It's about us. It's all kind of each one teach one. All right, just to slightly sidestep, and we'll come back around to that. What are you guys' views at the moment? Rids, I'm definitely intrigued to hear you from the back of last week. Like, anyone who was there last week knows it was a controversial week last week. Tory had like a whole outlook on the market, which kind of went against what Floms had to say on the market. And then pretty much the day after, we saw some drastic moves in BTC. Throughout the whole week, it's been a bit of a turbulent week, if depending on how you see it, and it's predicted to potentially be a turbulent month. What's your current outlook on the way March is going to go, this whole March Madness, quote unquote, bear market that we were potentially facing?
Contrary to the tone of things, I think we're on the way back up. Personally, I saw big buy pressures coming in from big institutional investors. And if we think about it on a macro level, if you're spending a lot of money and you want to purchase a lot of units, you would prefer the price to be a lot cheaper, wouldn't you?
Yeah, of course.
So knowing you have the relationships and you can manipulate the markets as such, you would suppress the prices to get in and accumulate more in what we're calling a little bear phase right now. It's really a big buy phase right now. And it turns around quickly in a couple weeks, where what we looked at as a big dip and scary time is we're back at 50K and facing all-time highs.
So would you say at the moment, like, all right, so some of the things that were going around this week that I think was mad, it was so interesting to see the psychology of investors, because that's really what this boils down to effectively. It's the psychology of an investor. Like, would you say that your Ethereums, for example, was that it? You know, that people was tweeting like, was that it? Was that the show? Was the show over for those?
Yeah, no way. No way. They're loading. Like, if the pressures, if you're just looking at the buy zones, the buy pressures, the sell pressures, and the amount of adoption is happening by institutions. We're talking Grayscale, we're talking BlackRock. I'm not sure if people are familiar with these, but they're institutional investment firms that deal with trillions in digital assets. And they're investing in crypto heavily, updating all their clients' portfolios with crypto assets. We're talking about moving percentages of business balance sheets into crypto assets. Now, they wouldn't want to do that at the all-time high. That's obvious.
So, yeah, of course.
So if they have the powers to manipulate those prices for a short window to suppress the price and accumulate as much as they can in that window, that's exactly what they're going to do and have done, in my opinion.
So right now, is it fair to basically say it's the perfect time to attack?
Attack, as you would say, my brother.
Serious. Yeah, no, 100%. Gabriel, are you there, my brother?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right. So for those who were here last week, Gabriel spoke last week quite well. I know after the room, I know your following went through the roof. So please, like, bear with him. He's only one human. But yeah, no, the reason why obviously he got a bit of attention is obviously he spoke on his journey within crypto, and he had gone from a good a normal amount to invest to a reasonable size amount, which obviously I'll let you discuss. But what's your views? Let's go through what we've all just gone through. So from NFTs to the current state of the market, what's your views at the moment, bro?
I'll start with NFTs since that was the first topic. But yeah, NFTs, like, obviously the guys described what they are, and obviously they talked about what they think about the future of NFTs. I still think, in my opinion, as you said, NFTs are, like, as we spoke earlier, NFTs are still in early days, but I don't really see, like, obviously there's a hype around it now. Like, I think the biggest three sectors in crypto right now would be like normal crypto, centralized crypto, DeFi, and NFTs. But I feel like NFTs are kind of just lagging behind the DeFi hype. But the thing is, DeFi actually has use cases, even though NFTs have like their limited edition and stuff like that. I don't really see, like, in my opinion, for something to have proper value, it needs to have a real like a use case in real world. And the thing is, like, with DeFi, it's not really hype per se, because DeFi, you can actually do stuff with it. You can get a yield. You can like, they're actually applying it to real world use cases. But with NFTs, it's more so buy this NFT, hold it, and like basically try and sell it for a higher price. But the thing is, like, it needs to, in my opinion, like, it needs to have some sort of use case applying to the real world for it to be actually like to be on the scale of DeFi, if that makes sense. Because obviously, like, a lot of people out there don't even know about NFTs, and I think for it to be like known on a greater scale, it needs to be adopted in some way, shape, or form.
Got you. So just for those who aren't aware of like where you currently are in the market, I think it's important, and it's not to put the spotlight on you, but it's also to give people an understanding of, number one, your age, and number two, your experience. So just summarize what it was that we went over last week as well, bro.
Yeah. So I'm 20 today. Just I went.
Birthday, my guy.
Thank you. So yeah, I got into crypto last year, around April, end of April, and I was just in and out of different cryptos at the start, and then it was just kind of like playing around with like my money. I wasn't really researching or anything like that. So then I actually, one day I was on YouTube, and I just got a video recommended to me, and there was like from some guy. His YouTube is called Crazy for Cryptos. So it was like the title said, "Can Chainlink go to $1,000?" And then I was like, okay, well, I had a bit of knowledge, a tiny bit of knowledge. I was like, okay, what's Chainlink? Because I've never heard of it. Like, I was putting my money in XRP and stuff like that. So I looked into Chainlink, and then I watched the video, blah blah blah, and then I signed up for. I was on Twitter already. Sorry. Then I just basically, like, I basically typed the link ticker in like the search bar. So it was like the $ and then link. And then I basically saw what different people were talking about link and stuff like that, blah, blah, blah. So I followed a lot of the people that I thought, like, at the start, I really thought link was going to go to 1,000 and stuff like that. But then the more I got into it, I started like realizing, looking from a realistic point of view. So then I started asking a lot of questions, and then people were just helping me out, and then they were giving me their answers, this and that. And then I was watching more videos on Link. And so what I decided to do was I had like 5K, and then I decided to go all into Link. And I was a bit, like, in my opinion, I was a bit lucky. Like, I feel like it was a blessing from God as well, because like, for me to basically.
Yo, bro, can't hear you. Lost you there.
The time where it had just crashed, I felt like I was really lucky. So I got into Link at like $3, and I didn't put the whole 5K into it at one time, because obviously I was still a bit skeptical. So I just kind of scaled in from about April till June, and then I was just waiting. I was patient, and then I got like a 3 or 4x out of Link, and then after that I was able to take some profits and then move into Uniswap. And Uniswap is basically where all the DeFi tokens are listed, or most of them. 90% of them are listed on Uniswap first, because the thing is, in 2017 and 2018 there wasn't any decentralized exchanges, so people weren't able to like list their tokens on Uniswap and stuff like that. So when more developers and stuff started finding out about Uniswap, they started listing all their tokens there. So I basically I'd been on crypto Twitter for a couple of months at that stage. This was like July, and then at that time I think my 5K had turned into like 20. So I was able to then basically take some money out, and then I was able to jump into Uniswap. But obviously it was a bit of trial and error at the time because I didn't know what I was doing, and there's not really like, at that time there wasn't really like any YouTube videos about Uniswap, like a guide or anything like that, you get me? So after that, then I hopped into Uniswap, and then yeah, man, like ever since then I've made some crazy returns. Like even in the trading network group, I put in like it was like, there was a trade that I did, I put in 700 and that returned me 20K. And there's some other trades, like if I didn't make a lot of mess ups and stuff like that, I'd probably have like 500-600K right now. But there's a lot of things that I sold early and stuff. It's just unfortunate, but I'm still doing well. So
and what's your focus on at the moment?
So basically my strategy now is just trade Uniswap, move the profits into my 5 solid long-term bags, or not long-term, let's say mid-term bags, which is Theta, Rune, Link, Dot, and Oraso.
Just for anyone who's from London, because the accent might throw you off, it's Theta for us, yeah. He's definitely talking about Theta. And T, what's your strategy, bro? T, you there? He might be away from his phone at the moment. Smokey, I see you, my brother.
Yo,
bro. What's your focus at the moment in regards to the market?
Link. I noticed the last speaker said a lot about Link, but basically Link is my biggest investment that I hold. Yeah, that's the biggest investment I hold in the crypto space. My focus is still just holding. So I'm not really a crypto trader, as I said before. I'm more about investing into the space and holding. So I hold Link, I accumulate Link quite regularly, Uniswap, NFTX I'm looking at now because it's going to be like the marketplace for NFTs and things like that. So I'm looking for...
NFTX is a coin, yeah? Or is a token?
It's a coin, is a token, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Which represents a company which is sorted out, yeah, which basically is going to host the NFTs on MetaMask.
Okay, good. So
That's
you're
like
more
the
obviously
bridge
from the investor background. Rids is pretty much the same. Is there anyone who's not and is actively thinking about this? More so this day trading, because I feel like there's a whole nother set of people that they're just in it for the licks every day. Like that's just their thing, licks every day.
Yeah, a lot of people don't want to. That's so. Yeah, so like I was saying before, I totally went the opposite of that because I feel like you, for example, you're someone who likes to understand why you're hitting the lick, even if you hit one. Do you know what I'm trying to say? 100%. So my whole thing is I actually just found it fun to learn about the new financial space. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, definitely. And I think just to touch on that, like this is from my point of view, because as much as like I'm hosting and kind of I'm playing down everything on my point of view, I'm studying, and even Gabriel will tell you, like I'm studying this every single day, like addictively, to the point of where I'm asking questions to everyone that you see on the stage or anyone in my trading network. So to anyone who's like sort of even behind me, like that is one thing I would say, make sure you do. Study this shit, like fall in love with this shit, like understand what is going on in the space before you just think about like the money side of it. You'll notice from everyone that spoke as well, like that's never really the focus. Like it's about knowing what's actually happening in this space, how it's actually transforming, what companies are actually actively involved, and then also going a bit further into them and understanding what their purpose is, who's behind it. Because there's some coins like the other day, even in Trading Network, Gabriel, you kind of you helped someone kind of prevent them from making a mistake. They was about to slap some money into a coin that was just run by some like full-on scammers, like things like that. Like you've got to know where you're putting your money to, and not just hear that it's the latest lick and jump on that bandwagon. I mean, by all means, some people will get lucky doing that, and if they do, then get how you live. But in regards to that longevity in this market, I'd definitely say you've got to do a lot more research and really soak the culture in more than anything.
Yeah, 100%. Like a lot of people think, even like when I used to put a post on my stories and stuff like that, a lot of people think like crypto is just a walk in the park, and they think they can just throw their money in without knowing what they're investing to. It doesn't work that way, because first of all, like, you need to have knowledge of the project. Like, that's just like going on a football trial, but you've never played football before and expecting to sign for the club. Like, it doesn't work that way. Again, like, you need to be prepared. You need to know what you're putting your money into, and at least, you know, once you have the conviction and you put your money in after you've done your research, even if you lose the money, it won't be too upsetting, because at least you know you've put the work in, and basically, like, you're confident in yourself, you know. But like, if you just throw your money in or listen to someone else, and like, if you lose the money, you're just gonna be pissed at yourself, because, you know, like, I haven't done anything, I haven't looked into it, you know. So it's not a walk in the park. You need to put some work in.
100%. Going back a bit as well, T. So Gabriel, you said at the end when you're talking about NFTs, you're basically saying you haven't got the most amount of faith in the growth just yet, because you feel like for there to be a certain level of growth, there needs to be use cases. Yeah. What's your view on that, T?
So the use case, no, that is true. For there to be a thing, but the use cases are going to become prevalent soon. So, for example, in music royalties, in things like collectible items and trading and all of these type of things. So, for example, your royalties could be paid in an NFT. You could release a whole project as an NFT. So you're in a smart contract. You use a smart contract. You'll be paid out in royalties via smart contracts and things like this. You know what I'm saying?
So
I feel like the use cases will become more prevalent over time. I feel like obviously the value in an NFT, like for example, because they're non-fungible tokens, and there's different value in each token. It really depends on the person who's promoting and marketing that token. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, got you.
I would say, like, it's like any sector within the space, there's gonna be some that's got the real use cases, and some that just sound like hype in it, because within everything there's hype in it, there's things that I say. But like, you got certain stuff, like, think of the gaming industry, innit? There's a certain coin, you got Engine Coin. Engine Coin, they do NFT, so you can take like something from one game into a whole other game. So imagine taking your Call of Duty gun into like I'm not really a gamer. What's the other game that everyone plays? Fortnite. And you can be the only one that owns that special gun that you created.
You actually own it now.
Yeah, you're the owner. You're the only person with it.
So what, you own it via an NFT?
Yeah, via NFT.
Literally.
Right.
And you trade it through, and it goes through the game. So even like, you might have your own personal skins. I think they call it skins. You might create a level that only you own. You might send it to someone else that might raise in value. You might be able to trade your whether it's an outfit in the game, because remember, gaming is $1 billion industry, isn't it? So there's gonna be stuff that ain't that interesting. There's gonna be stuff that have a real use case. But remember, the space is still early, so everyone's still developing, isn't it? Some things are further ahead than others, just like DeFi or any of the sectors.
I'm not gonna lie, that's deep. A man said that you're now able to buy within the game via an NFT.
Yeah,
that's nice.
And take it into a whole nother game.
That's the next game.
Now you were always able to buy it in the game, but now the item that you're purchasing in the game, you actually own it on the blockchain.
Yours.
Like, for example,
on the game, right into your wallet, literally, like, you own it. No one else can.
It's the token that represents it that can move in these various wallets and stuff. That's why that tokenizing of something is how it moves through the blockchain. Do you get it?
And just to confirm, the way to, like, quote unquote cash out of these things has to be peer-to-peer sales, right?
Depends on
through an exchange, like in a marketplace, or something.
So you can sell back to an exchange, like
Generally, the platform that you get it from, you can sell it to, or you can sell it to an individual person. It's like, literally, you could buy my NFT off me if you've got a wallet that's compatible.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, bro. It's quite mad, isn't it?
It all depends on what you're into, innit? Because remember, there's different.
There's a whole world of art that we don't think of as normal, but people spend hundreds of thousands of pounds on art.
Millions.
Yeah, billions a year on art.
Same for game and same for any sector within the world. That's why it's such a hype right now. So it is a hype, but some sectors are going to do more well than others because of how appealable the use case may be. Like I said, gaming is a major one.
I was discussing today, and I think something that I think would do quite well in that space is like sneakers, like your exclusives, your Red Octobers, your Mad Yeezys.
1,000%.
Yeah, I feel like they're gonna probably do quite well in that space, just because it's that feeling. Guys, anyone who's just joined in the room now, just to reset the room. So we're just discussing crypto space, Crypto Connect, something that we're going to do every Monday. Just very, very relaxed discussion this week compared to last week. Big shout out to Floms. But more so just to kind of discover a bit more in the NFT space. I feel like the NFT space, if you're not locked into your Gary V's or you're not like very heavily focused in crypto, it's probably not landed on your lap yet. So if we can kind of have a platform which allows it to, it's definitely something that I'd be happy with today. If there's anyone who's got any more views or even any more input, knows a bit more, is listening and thinks, oh, maybe we should add that, by all means, is an open door. So just wave your hand and we will definitely, I can see that there's 2 more people now to add up. Yes, so Mike, Toby, how you doing, my brother?
I'm cool, man. Oh, Toby, you can go first. I'll go after you.
Hey, how you doing, man?
All good, my bro. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I missed out on the conversation that you lot had last week, but I heard about it. My guy tried to ping me in the room, so I just made sure that I come on Clubhouse today. But basically, I heard you talking about art NFTs, and I know like quite a lot about like pieces of art and like the whole sales process, auctions, reselling, and stuff like that. So traditionally how it works is that artist goes to a gallery, says like, oh, look, I've got this collection, like here's all the art. Basically people either come, buy all the pieces, or they buy some of the pieces, and then they hold on to it, and then it's a store of value, and then they resell it. So some people buy it to just be like, oh yeah, like I actually connect with this piece of art. Some people are looking at it like an investment.
Yeah.
So now what you got on like all these, like there's like certain marketplaces that are kind of like the eBay, but for art pieces, like digital art. So now what people can do is they go on there, right? You buy the piece of art using a smart contract. So the artist sets the price. The first person buys it. But get this, before the artist, say like Picasso is not getting all the millions or billions or whatever all these pieces are worth, and his family's not benefiting from that since he's dead, right? But on these exchanges, now in the smart contract, you can put in that the artist always gets like 20% of the resale.
I heard about this,
of those art pieces. So it's like, as an artist, say like my work starts appreciating, my name is getting out there. I sell the first piece for $800, but on the resale market, it's now selling for like, I don't know, $1 million, $2 million a piece. I'm still getting about 20% of that. So when it comes to stuff like music, digital art, like it's whatever people consider art or something that they want to own. I think it's a lot better from like the artist's point of view, and plus getting paid in a lot of these, like the music industry especially, like I got a bit of experience in publishing and stuff like that. Getting paid can sometimes take 3 to 6 months, whereas if you're doing it via crypto, you're getting paid like within a couple hours max. So artists should definitely be looking into this, like 100%.
No, definitely love, my bro.
I feel it's going to get to a point in crypto where artists are going to get paid per stream. Like literally, it's going to go from being press play to money going into their wallet directly. Got a bit of fine tuning to do before we get there, but there is companies that are working on that as we speak.
T, if you're still there, from an artist point of view, has there been any like movement in the industry towards this NFT discovery?
Yeah, well, in terms of artists discovering NFTs, but I don't think. Well, I'm sure there is someone behind the scenes working on obviously developing something a bit more complex. But in terms of making NFTs from digital pictures or from MP3s and stuff, I'm seeing producers make sound clips and make those available as NFTs. Like for example, yeah, those are examples that I've actually seen. So I guess how that would work is you could put loops or samples on the blockchain as NFTs, and then as they resell or used by other producers or anything, the blockchain will help to kind of track that for other artists. You get it? So it's the same way of getting repaid your 20% royalty for your NFT digital art if it was supposed to sell on.
I saw something on the Rolling Stones releasing like 10 of their albums on NFT, old album NFT this week.
Oh, for real? I was gonna say, realistically, I feel like the music industry has got no other choice but to roll this through by the looks of things.
Yeah, they're going to be like digitalizing their artwork for their albums and the actual album, the music content on their albums.
Yeah, mad. Absolutely mad. Daps, what's going on, my brother? Arthur's just joined us as well, bro. If you're there, come tap in with us, man. If you've got any knowledge on the NFT market.
What's happening?
What's going on, my bro? You good?
I'm good. How's everyone doing?
Good, my bro, man. What are you saying? Bear market?
I wouldn't say as such. I wouldn't.
What's it looking like, bro?
Before you go and call that guy back on here to come in and just gloat.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like Tory fucked up the market. What are we saying, man?
No, don't give him that kind of power. No.
He done us a favor.
He ain't got that kind of strength. No way. He's
No, but on a
not
serious
got the
note,
answers.
though, what's your outlook for this month as it's looking at the moment?
Personally, I think it's correcting a bit, which is normal. You know, let's be all totally honest. This thing shot up. I think from when it hit $30K and all the way up to 60K or 58 or 59K, whatever it went up to. It's just been parabolic. It's not really like, you know, gone sideways. Shot through 30K, hit 40, shot through 40, hit 50, and then just jumps. So obviously, yeah, it had a couple of days of moving sideways, but in between, it never actually moved like properly. So, but let's basically, long story short, is this is expected. It needs to come down. It needs to find a price where it kind of stays there for a bit, and then when Bitcoin moves sideways, that now gives the alts an opportunity to move, and we haven't really had an alt season yet. Like, as we can't call what we've had an alt season, so yeah, I think this is fine. What's going on right now? I wouldn't call it a bear market. It's just what needs to happen so that we can experience alt season.
Yeah, no, 100%. I feel like
Yeah,
go ahead.
No, I just wanted to add to what Arthur said here. My name is Mike. Invest across multiple asset classes, crypto as well as stocks as well. Yeah, just to add to what Arthur was saying, there is a correction, and I think mostly it's fueled by the increased interest rates on bonds. So you got a lot of these institutions or ETFs or companies that are focused, you know, solely on investing in crypto or stock equities. But then when like interest rates increase on bonds, what that does is that it now creates like a safe haven for those institutional investors to actually park their money in, because if they're getting higher guaranteed return on investments on those interest rates, they figure they just, you know, rotate their capital into that. So I think personally, just my opinion, that when the interest rates start coming back down a little bit more, you'll start seeing investors being a bit more risk averse and rotate their cash back into crypto. So that's why I think overall, like this last week or two, you've seen a lot of rotations, money coming out of the markets, both from the stock equities perspective as well as crypto. So it's just kind of leveling it up from that perspective. But once each of those different asset classes find support, you start seeing more of a bull market and things going back up. So that's just my personal view. And if you look at the 10-year, because what kind of drives it is the 10-year Treasury note bond in the US. So if you look at it, you can actually just pull up the chart if you want to, and just look where it was like for the last month. For the last month, it was at like 0.6%. Then it shot up to like 1.5%. And then if you look at each of the different markets you're invested in, try and look at the correlation in the price between that period of time, and you'll be able to validate what I'm saying. But that's basically what's driving it, and that's simply what's on the news and stuff like that. So I would look at that. But as you said, you know, with Bitcoin, you've got these institutions, you've got Square, you've got Grayscale, you've got Tesla that's invested, you've got microservices, you got all these institutions that are kind of, buying a dip as well. So you should be fine if you're, getting in at some of these prices now.
Yeah, no, 100%, man. I think it's definitely a time to attack. To anyone who wasn't sure before they came in this room on how to kind of operate during this period, like, you've got to be careful with what you let social media do to your brain, because if you start operating off social media, you'll lose all your strategy. You won't have a tactic that you stick to, and you'll start literally operating off of FOMO or fear based on what everyone is saying is going on. So one of the things that I kind of learned from my network, my circle, some of them even being up on the stage at the moment, is literally just find your strategy, what works for you, and repeat that. Like Gabriel was talking about this the other day as well. Like, I had a conversation with Gabriel yesterday about a strategy with how to actually, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's gone from 5K to 250. So it's so easy to talk to this guy and be like, all right, so what do you know about this? And what do you know about the charts and this, that, and the other? And I'll be honest, and some might disagree, because it sounds like we've got a few more financially savvy people on the stage who probably do read charts inside and out. But there are ways to attack this market just from fundamental analysis and just knowing you're, like, really, really, really knowing your shit and having a passion for your coin, rather than sitting there every 10 minutes clicking refresh. Like Rids, for example, how do you operate? Like, are you on the charts all day, every day, or is it?
No, it's more fundamentals. It is more fundamentals. The charts do play a part, because obviously you have to correlate the two, in my opinion. That paints the perfect picture.
Just a quick one. When you look at the fundamentals from the crypto perspective, what are you looking at for fundamentals perspective? Because just for context, when I look at fundamentals from a stock equity perspective, I'm looking at cash flow, balance sheets, income statements, and stuff like that. How are you doing it for crypto?
So liquidity, market cap, token supply, the team, the citations, the credibility, partnerships. Those are all parts that, build the credibility of a coin, and their roadmap, their mission statement, their white paper. You collate all that information and see how solid it is, along with the charts, and that gives you your projection.
I also think one important thing as well for fundamentals would be, like, for example, there's a project I'm going to be investing in that's coming out this week called Kylan. Now, Kylan is basically an oracle, like what Chainlink is doing. But an important thing is also to compare what is already on the market, and then how that project is doing better. Like, for example, Chainlink it's not like in any ecosystem, but Kylan is going to be in the Polkadot ecosystem. So it's also important to kind of compare two projects that are doing the same job or have the same use case, but
definitely. And we, as early adopters, have the advantage of hedging both ways. As I'm saying, if you can invest in both, if one does well or the other does well, then you do well, because it's a new space. And knowing that they are pioneering in what they do, so an oracle space, that's its own type of industry in blockchain. We've got smart contract platforms now. There's multiple different smart contract chains, but there isn't multiple different oracle chains. So you can hedge your bets, and either way you're going to do well in this current climate, knowing that it's a bull market. On a macro scale, there's not anyone who's invested in Bitcoin or crypto assets like Bitcoin and Ethereum over a 2-year period and is at a loss.
And also, people need to remember, like, when I just got into Link, like, a lot of people want fast gains nowadays. Like, a lot of people who are winning big in Chainlink now, they've been buying through the bear market in 2018, 2019. So everything didn't happen today. They've been buying since like 0.5 cents, 0.10.
I bought Ethereum at the top of the last bull run. So we went from 1,000 back down to 80. You got to have some sort of stomach to hold on. And some of that is real shit. You've got to believe in these projects. So I've been doing my research from long before then as well. So knowing what's coming, it's not, it's not guessing. When you're seeing these announcements and you're seeing these partnerships, it's like, well, yeah, it's about time.
Yeah.
But all right, so let me throw something at you, Rid. So, for example, you've got your coins. You kind of know where you're looking for the next 18 months, sort of thing. But when periods like what's happened in the last week come, number one, did you predict those periods? Firstly,
You know that corrections are coming. Like, it can't be all clear skies in this market.
mm-hmm.
There is always going to be a correction and a consolidation period, like historically speaking.
Sorry to jump in, Rids, but yeah, as a crypto trader or somebody that's been trading for a while, not even just crypto, you should just know that in markets, there's always going to be a correction and things like that. And the crypto one was, to be honest with you, it's almost kind of bait. It's if Trist, you're even in the chats that I'm in, similar chats. I think if you think back about a week before that, I kept saying, like, guys, I see bearish patterns forming. I can see bearish patterns all over the market. Don't be overexposed. Don't be overexposed. Like, yes, cool. It's okay to carry on trading, but just don't be overexposed at the moment, because that is gonna drop. And then it did. So yeah, I feel like it's something that will just almost come naturally with experience. You won't need to predict it as much, but you just start, you start to get a feel of things. I was looking at loads of different coins, and each one was just forming a bearish pattern. So I just kind of knew that across the whole market, something's about to happen.
And just to add to that, just quickly to add to that piece around, when me personally, this is what I do when I'm in a position and I'm up in profit, but I still want to see what it's going to do. I set stop losses as well, so I could at least cash out if there is like a pullback. Not for everything, because I believe in most of the coins that I'm in, but for the ones that I've got enough profit and I want to at least realize some of that profit, I set a stop loss.
Yeah, so I do that mainly on not on spot buys, but if I'm in futures. So today, actually, it's very good that you mentioned that. 2 days ago, I gave out like 10 different coins and gave the analysis on them. Told everybody I'd marked out like a green buy zone. So I told everybody, yeah, cool, I'm getting into these 10 coins, when they hit these prices. So I've just set all my buy orders. And then I think it was as of like last night, they start coming in, all the buy orders start coming in. And then it was going up. So I was sending like my results to everybody. I think I woke up this morning and I was about roughly between 300 to 400% up on most of them. So I was just sending it to everyone saying, okay, who got in? Did you guys set your own buy orders as well? I was getting replies. People were telling me, yeah, we're in. And I remember by the time we got to 600% up, I'd already, I'll start moving my stop loss above break even, well, way above break even, to be honest, because obviously anything can happen in the market. Things can turn around. We had targets where to take profit from, where it was meant to go to. I believe about 4 or 5 of the trades got closed out at my take profits because obviously things changed. But it was important for me to put those take profits on there, because if I'd have just been headstrong on, oh yeah, it's going here, it's going here, it's going here, I could have lost out, because I was right. Yes, that was the right price to buy in at, and I was right. Yes, it did go up, but once again, market conditions changed, and my take profits actually helped me, or call it stop loss, because obviously it was above. It was a stop loss, but it was above the entry price, so it was more of a take profit really. But yeah, what Mike said is very important, guys. So, and I believe it's important when you're trading futures mainly. So most times when I've done a spot buy meaning that I've just bought the asset itself, so I'm not actually trading it as such. I've just bought it to hold. I don't tend to set any stops, because most of the times maybe I've even bought it for a long-term hold anyway. So I'll buy that. If it goes below the price, it's fine, because I haven't lost until I've sold. That old story that we always talk about. You only lose when you sell. So it's just that my asset has lost its value. So yeah, I'd advise everybody, do not trade futures without stop losses. It's stupid. It's very it's probably one of the most stupidest things you could do, because at the end of the day, market conditions can change at any time. In a spot buy, little bit different, because you won't get closed out. There's no such thing. I don't know
I
if that
can't
makes sense.
lie. You man who do futures, you got stronger stomachs than me, boy. Listen, over the next few weeks after, I'm gonna be coming to you to school me on it. But I've heard some scary stories in that group.
Yeah, no, futures. Look, I'll send you screenshots. I remember Ripple done me for about 64 grand. This is earlier on this year, in about I think January times. I lost 64k on Ripple in one
And
futures
it can
trade.
happen in minutes, I'm hearing.
Yeah, no, it can happen so fast, bro. Trust me, it can happen very fast.
That shit scares me. All right, guys, if there's anyone in the audience who's got any final questions just before we close in the next few minutes, feel free to raise your hand. Before that be the case, honestly, Daps and Rids, be honest, and even Gabriel, is there anything that Torre said last week that you've changed your mind on and you part agree with what he said?
Never.
No, I
Feed
did.
into the lions.
Oh, yeah, Gabriel, you kind of agreed with him anyway.
I didn't
right?
disagree with him. Yeah, it's just I just said there's another option. You know, I like obviously who isn't gonna buy Link at $3 rather than $30? You get me? But I was saying to him but he wasn't aware that new projects are coming out every day or every couple of days. You know, so that's the thing. I was just feeding him another
Sorry
view.
to cut you, Gabriel. Trist, do you know what it is about Torre? Let me just put it out there. There's no way I can agree with him because he didn't know what he was talking about in the first place. Like he is not
He doesn't understand the blockchain and the ecosystem.
Doesn't understand anything crypto. Yes, okay, cool. The guy may have traded in the past, and yeah, maybe he's placed a couple futures trades in crypto, and maybe he's bought a few assets, like a few coins and whatnot. But the way he was talking, you can't come with so much expertise and and then be using those points to try and validate yourself. That's why I'll have to say I completely disagree with him on the whole. Do you know what I'm gonna say to you? Because even the way he was talking one of those guys. You know, there's people that will say, "Oh yeah, nah, Bitcoin's gonna go to zero." Like he sounded like one of them guys. I'll be real with you. And I was,
to be honest,
my thing is, as an investor, if anyone was listening to him, they'd be scared of buying Bitcoin. Now, if anyone bought Bitcoin,
literally
in let's say minimum 3 months from now, they'll be in profit. That's pretty much guaranteed.
Yeah.
But again, it's off of the FUD, the fear, uncertainty, and doubt that he's putting into the ecosystem that would deter someone from even educating himself more on Bitcoin.
I think it's also important as well, and something I'll say across the board is when you get into investment markets like crypto, you haven't got to have the same aim as the next person. Like you might be someone who does just want to make a 20 quid and go and do this, or you might want to make 50 quid and go and do that, or you might just want to build for your future. It might be generational wealth. Like everyone has a different aim. And what I did disagree with is that general rule of thumb, which I think isn't right for everyone. So for example, someone came to me last week and it was like, oh, I really want to get involved within crypto. They're a very, very safe person, safe investor, and they're not going to watch the markets. They just want to put money to the right places. I said, listen, there was only $1,000. I said, listen, half it, go Ethereum and BTC. Ironically enough, this is the day before the dips. But anyway, we move, yeah? So that being the case, this is
they must be looking for you.
Bear in mind, bear in mind, I'm not a financial.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
Torre is on to you now.
We rap cars over here, yeah. We rap cars over here, yeah. But now, on a serious note, like that's someone who's probably not going to look at their app for another year, 2 years, and I'm confident to say they're going to be fine within a year, 2, whatever
and
that time frame is. That person is fine. But then there might be someone else now who is coming in thinking, oh, I've just heard Gabriel's story and I want to make X, Y, Z in 3 months instead, and it doesn't go. So the main thing I will say to anyone listening is just know what your aim is. But I think this just applies to life, man. Like you've got to, if you're getting into markets like this, you've got to have a bit of a hustler mentality around you. If you have got that mentality around you, you always know that when you get into any hustle, you have your own aim. You haven't got to do it with the same aim as the next person, because that could end up leading you down the wrong road. As simple as that.
What I'll say quickly as well is that people fear what they don't understand, innit? So the more effort and time you put into trying to understand something, the more confidence you have within that subject, innit? The more you'll be willing to take a bigger risk, and obviously with risk comes reward, depending, but it's calculated risk once you're doing research and putting your time in it. So just make sure you put the time in, just like any investment or business or idea that you're gonna put your time into.
Right.
Once you understand it, you'll have a better chance at succeeding in it. So just do your put in your work in it.
Also, to add to that, like the most important thing as well is like many people have done what I've done, like flipping small amounts into 6 figures and 7 figures. But you also need to understand the times that everyone is coming into the market is completely different. Some people are maybe only entering this year. I've been in the market since April last year. So there's a lot, like times have changed, you know? So maybe what I did last year, it's still possible, but it's just a bit harder. You understand? So like people shouldn't go in with having that goal. They should just go in of, I've done my research and then be happy with what they've hit, you know, because conditions have changed.
I'll tell. Like,
hey, yo, sorry, one sec. I got to shoot. I just didn't want to leave without saying thanks for the opportunity for obviously doing this. Anyone who wants to teach me any further, just hit me up. TE Dness. Yeah, I'm gonna slide out.
Love, my bro.
Thanks.
What I was gonna say to everyone, like, I try to, when it comes to rooms like this, like I listen more than I speak because I don't see myself as an expert here. But one thing I will say, and I'm it's fresh off the press as it were, is get into the market, but find the people who are doing it the way you would want to do it. Like if that person is doing something that just looks cool, but it's not you, if you can't resonate, then don't ask that person. Like me personally, I've come in, I found a few people, and I asked as well a lot of questions. Like Rids will tell you, way before I jumped in, I was asking Rids questions before I was involved. I was just asking.
For years, bro.
Just asking.
You got some positions early, bro.
Yeah, I did.
But that's the best thing. I
a lot
completely agree.
of research, like, and that's just me in any business I've got in. Like when I jumped in car wrapping, it's the same thing. When I jumped in branding, the same thing. Concierge company here, same thing. Like, do your research, find out what's going to work for you, and then locate the people that resonate with you. So, for example, I personally won't discredit Tory. Reason being, I've known Tory for about 6-7 years, and his mindset and mentality just towards life, I've always connected with. I definitely know Tory is someone who's successful for trading, maybe not so much crypto, but I've definitely seen that. I came up in the city from 2012, 2013. Tory was like next door neighbors in Canary Wharf. So I know that guy is certified in that sense. And for me personally, again, I resonate to it. So it's someone that I ask questions to. With Rids is someone that I've seen from a very young age. So it's someone that I can resonate with, ask questions to. Then now I'm in the group, I hear Gabriel's mindset. Not just the results, though. That's what we got to be careful of. Like, you can't just speak to someone because of results. The reason I speak to Daps is not just because I know that he does well at trading. What is your mindset behind it? Do you have a long-term mentality? Because if you're on a short-term mentality, you might be for the other guy. You're not for me. I need someone who is thinking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years, because the short-lit guy might tell me to go jump in a future tomorrow and I lose 100 bags. Like, do you get what I mean? So you've got to find what works for you.
Yeah, very important. Very, very true. Because at the end of the day, also, you got to remember, some people, everyone's risking different amounts of money. So there's some people that, you know what I'm saying, they'll tell you to get into a trade or whatever. They can afford like to get into that trade and for it to just move 2%, 3% and they're out. Do you get what I'm saying? So then, like, for you to see that type of money that you're looking for, the type of money that they're talking about, it's got to move like 50% or maybe even like 100% or 5x and things like that, just because simply everyone's risking different types of money. And I learned that lesson early on. That, okay, cool. It was fortunate and unfortunate for me because, you know, I got into crypto and it's almost instantly I ran into the big fish. So, you know, they're telling me to get into certain coins and do certain trades and things like that, but we're not putting on the same amounts. I'm thinking, why am I not, you know, as buzzing as them? Like, when everything goes like right, like, why is it that? Do you know what I'm saying? I'm still waiting for this thing to go up so I can even see good money, but they're already celebrating and the coins only moved up a couple percent or whatever. So yeah, it's very important to find, like what Trist said, find people that are, I wouldn't say like, because obviously if you now go and find people that are doing maybe the same as you, maybe you've also found some newbies as well that you're also trading like low amounts. So that's quite, but then, or maybe just as you're learning from the experts, quotation marks, like just do it like in proportionate to what you're putting in as well. So you know that, all right, cool, if I'm putting in this amount, let's say for example, don't start using 50x leverage if you're just starting up. Don't start using like 75 times leverage, 100 times leverage. No, you just started. I even think 20% is even risky if you're just starting. Like, do it in proportion to what you're doing. I know you may see me post certain things, and I know like people like Jake that they're very experienced in futures. Jake, like I make jokes with Jake saying that this man will commit mass murder. A man that uses 100x leverage, nah, this guy is a mass murderer, and that's like because that means he's a big risk taker. If somebody that's going to use that kind of leverage, they know what they're doing. He's not just clicking 100x for the fun of it, and he actually gets the result. Like he makes his money on that 100x, but then you get somebody else that's new that think, oh, well, Jake's doing it. Well, fuck it, I'll just jump on 100x. Bro, you're getting closed out within the market. Just needs to move 1% for you to get closed out. Then you're gonna
Me?
say, oh, futures are dangerous. Futures are dangerous. Ah, stay away. But no, futures were dangerous because you didn't understand leverage and you just went and did
Too
the same
dangerous.
thing as you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, you see all of that? You see all of that stuff there? Yeah, my guys, let me tell you, look, yeah? See me?
You can use 5x and stay in the trade for time because it won't close out.
I will hold my good safe coins, or I don't want, bro. I swear to you, bro. You see that? Nah, listen, I commend you guys. You can do that, and it's definitely something I want to learn eventually. But yeah, man, this life
say
you
you're
must have
good.
money or you will suffer. Trust me, bro. But now, guys, appreciate it, man. As I said, we're gonna do this every week. Different topics. The market's moving every day, so there'll always be something new to talk about. Just a quick little plug. I've just dropped the interview with Flumsy on my YouTube, which YouTube Trist Taylor. Go and check it out. It's the first part of 3. He definitely drops hella gems. If you don't know Flumsy, as you all know from watching it. My Instagram, if you don't know as well, is Trist Rap City. Everyone who has joined, again, appreciate it. Rids, Gabriel, Adapts. Always good to have familiar faces back up here, as well as Jake as well. Whatever it is that you guys have taken from this, I just hope you've got something from it that allows you to kind of go and up your game in one way, shape, or form. And tell a friend to tell a friend, man. We're going to do this every single Monday. Like, there's loads of different groups that are like this, but we're London, in the streets, from the hood. You know how it goes. So, we've got to build a little community here, man.
And keep it growing, keep learning, man.
Trist, if all else fails, just spend your money on signing up to a little course, and someone will tell you not to invest in Bitcoin.
Follow me. Follow Rid's rule.
Alright, listen, no sense of indirect. Big shout out to my guy Torre.
Shout out Torre. No, but on the big and serious, if you want to find out more about blockchain and investing in the space and learning about the digital assets, hit me up. Rid's rule on Instagram. Happy to help.
And when Flom says it's murder, Arthur, it's murder, stop, then it means it's murder.
Alright, guys, listen, have a good one.
Hey, just shout out Torre one time though. We have to give him a shout. This guy's
shout out. He held smoke.
This guy's become famous all of a sudden. Wow, Torre, if you're listening, look, bro, it's all love, man. This is banter. I think that because you might say, you guys, this is cyberbullying now. If you don't want
I'm looking to cop an NFT of Torre.
Oh my.